weakened the Byzantine Empire, leaving it vulnerable to Ottoman conquest in the 15th century. Rise of centralized monarchies. The Crusades contributed to the decline of feudalism and the rise of centralized monarchies in Europe. Kings used the Crusades to consolidate power, levy taxes, and build state institutions. Shifts in trade and economy. The Crusades opened new trade routes between Europe and the East. Italian city-states like Venice and Genoa profited immensely, laying the groundwork for the Renaissance and the Age of Exploration. 3.3 The symbolism of Jerusalem. Jerusalem remained a powerful symbol throughout the Crusades and beyond. For Christians, it represented their ultimate spiritual goal, while for Muslims, it symbolized resilience and divine justice. The struggle for Jerusalem continues to resonate in modern geopolitics, particularly in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. 5. The Crusades and their impact on the modern world. While the Crusades ended in the 13th century, their influence continues to shape the world in various ways, from religious and political ideologies to military strategies and cultural exchanges. The struggle for Jerusalem, as well as the broader crusading movement, left a complex legacy that transcended the medieval period, resonating in both Eastern and Western cultures for centuries. 5.1 Religious and ideological legacy. The Crusades, and specifically the struggle for Jerusalem, laid the foundations for future religious and ideological conflicts that would shape global history. Religious extremism and justification of war. The Crusades institutionalized the concept of holy war, wherein religious convictions were seen as justifications for violence. This idea persisted into the later centuries, influencing major wars such as the European Wars of Religion, 16th and 17th centuries, the Spanish Inquisition, and even modern religious conflicts. The notion that war can be waged in the name of God remains a powerful ideological tool, used by various groups across history to justify armed struggles. Muslim-Christian relations. The Crusades deepened the rift between Islam and Christianity. The historical memory of Christian military aggression in the Levant left an indelible mark on Muslim perceptions of the West. For centuries, the Crusades were depicted in Muslim narratives as a brutal invasion, reinforcing suspicions and hostilities toward European powers. In the modern era, the legacy of the Crusades still influences Christian-Muslim relations, particularly in the context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, where Jerusalem remains a contested and deeply symbolic city for both religions. Religious and national identity. The Crusades also contributed to the formation of religious and national identities, particularly in Europe. The idea of a unified Christendom, fighting for the Holy Land, helped forge a collective European identity that would be further solidified during the subsequent centuries of conflict. The religious motivations of the Crusaders, as well as the symbolism of Jerusalem, fueled the narrative of European superiority and the idea of a civilizing mission that would inform colonial expansions in later centuries. 5.2 Political and social transformations. The Crusades not only shaped religious ideologies but also had profound political, economic, and social consequences that would influence the development of modern Europe. Feudalism and the rise of centralized monarchies. The Crusades contributed to the decline of feudalism and the rise of centralized monarchies. As kings and nobles embarked on crusades, they had to consolidate their power to raise the funds and resources required for such large-scale military campaigns. This led to greater centralization of political authority, diminishing the power of feudal lords and setting the stage for the formation of modern nation-states. Monarchs like Richard the Lionheart of England and Philip II of France were able to strengthen their authority through their involvement in the Crusades, influencing the development of strong, centralized governments in Europe. The creation of the Crusader states and the impact on European diplomacy. The establishment of Crusader states, such as the Kingdom of Jerusalem and the County of Tripoli, required complex diplomatic relations with neighboring Muslim states and Byzantine rulers. The Crusaders were forced to navigate a delicate balance of alliances, diplomacy, and warfare in a foreign and hostile land. The need for such diplomacy helped shape modern European foreign policy, as it laid the groundwork for the importance of strategic alliances, treaties, and the management of colonial territories. Economic expansion and the growth of trade. The Crusades opened up trade routes between Europe and the Islamic world, particularly through the Italian city-states like Venice, Genoa, and Pisa. These cities played a pivotal role in facilitating Crusader military efforts by providing ships and supplies. As a result, trade between the Christian West and the Muslim East flourished, leading to the exchange of goods, knowledge, and culture. The demand for supplies, resources, and commodities for the Crusades contributed to the rise of a commercial economy, the development of banking systems, and the eventual rise of European economic dominance during the Renaissance and the Age of Exploration. 5.3 Military legacy and the development of modern warfare. The Crusades also had a significant impact on the development of military strategy, tactics, and technology, influencing the conduct of wars in the centuries that followed. Siege warfare and